session, the 20-day session, we're gonna learn how to develop an online web application and how to implement this in the server and several things with it and much more. So today's session, what we're gonna do is, my voice is audible to you all? Please reply anybody that my voice is audible to you all and you all guys can hear me clearly so that I can proceed further. Okay. Now in today's session, we will be discussing about Visual Studio 2012, introduction and working of it, client-side code and server-side code. We will be discussing about client-side, what are client-side code, why they are called client-side codes, and what are server-side codes, why they are called server-side codes. We are going to discuss about some HTML tags also, introduction to JavaScript validations, what are JavaScript validation, how does it work, and working samples with controls. Yesterday I just showed you a few controls like buttons and text box. We're going to discuss about more controls in this session also, few more controls. So but before proceeding to today's session, I would like to show you something. Okay, first of all, I would like to show you few examples of JavaScript validations, what are server-side codes, what are client-side codes, what are HTML tags, and then we're going to proceed to working of Visual Studio 2012. I am using Visual Studio 2012. You can use Visual Studios 13, 2013, 14, 15, 19, anything. It's completely depend upon you and your system configuration also. More or less, the work which we're going to do in 2008, because I used 2008 also and 2012 also, the entire work will be similar in every version of Visual Studios. So version doesn't matter if you are working on 2012, because from 2012 version of Visual Studios, the entire thing is similar in every version, in every latest version. And I'm going to show you something which is related to it also. As I told you yesterday also, in server, when we put our pages, when we load our pages to server, the server doesn't ask us that in which version we have designed the application. It only asks the framework version. Means you can download the framework, .NET framework 4.5 or 5.0 or 3.5 from internet and download it, and that framework you can download, install it to your server, and if your web server doesn't have Visual Studios, that doesn't matter, it will work according to the framework and smoothly. How that's going to work, we are going to learn in our next sessions. In future sessions, you will be getting clear knowledge about it also. So first of all, I would like to start from the second point, client-side code and server-side code, HTML tags, and introduction to JavaScript validation. Remember, Java is a language, is a complete different language, and JavaScript is a complete different language. Means the syntax might be the same, but JavaScript is made specially for working on web browser. JavaScript is made specially for working on web browser to make the experience of the user much more better. Why JavaScript is used? Why JavaScript? One thing I would like to tell you, that JavaScript is a client-side, HTML is a client-side code, and JavaScript is also a client-side code. What is a client-side code? I'll just tell you. I'll just show you. It will be clear for you. But just keep your mind straight. What we are going to learn in this 20th session is to learn how to make a web application in ASP.NET with VB.NET. What is VB.NET? VB.NET is a server-side code. In client-side code, what we're going to do? We're going to use HTML and JavaScript in client-side code. Basically, client-side code is used to design, to make the experience better for the user, for the page what we see. And the server-side code is done to interact, to talk between the server and the user. Suppose we have to save some data. Then in that case, when we press a button, that button, the code behind that button, the server side code behind the button interact with the server and takes the data and submit it into server. Everything will be clear in this session. Now, let me show you this client side code and server side, the difference between the client side code and the server side code. Okay, so we have a website over here which is called Skillport. Okay, we have a simple website over here, though it's have a web application also. How it works, I'm going to show you. Any website, whatever website you open website and just right click on your website. A menu will open, a window will open, and go to view page source. Okay, so what you're going to see is the amount in the next tab, the amount of some scripts, some tags, some coding written on. What does it denote? This is the main designing part of the page. Means this is the page, and to design this page we have used HTML to design the page, as well as images also, as well as JavaScript also. Where JavaScript will be used, I will be showing you the next page. But in this page, the JavaScript doesn't require, because it's a informative page for just a landing page for a website. So it doesn't require any JavaScript because no function or no activity is to be done on this page. When you open this page, you just have to read and get information about this organization. That's it. So if no activity is done on this page, so it doesn't require any programming language or any other action on this page. That's why we haven't used any server-side coding or else any JavaScript coding on this page. But we have used images and a tremendous amount of HTML codes to design this page properly. Means the alignment of the image, the alignment of the text, the size of the image of text, the all graphical user interface. This kind of, we have used HTML and CSS. Okay, what is CSS, how it is used, I'll be telling you in the future session slowly. First, you can see it over here that there are many. Okay, it's written the div, the common tag, and the starting tag of any young web developer. To design, we use div tags, the famous tags, and very much used in designing. We have input tags also, we have div tags also, we have span tags also. How these all tags work, I'm going to tell you slowly and slowly. We have button tags over here. Just you can see it over here that whatever tags is getting open, and inside we have a class, we have a page name and something written in it, and the tag gets closed. Means the function, the use of a particular tag, the system to write a particular HTML code is the way open certain tag, write the certain program, means the HTML code, and close the tag. In other line, in every line, you are going to see that a certain tag is getting open, means li tag, and the li tag over here is getting closed. And between the li tag, the entire designing part of it occurs. We have a tag also over here. Okay, what have I just clicked? Close. Okay, so you can try it on any website. Just right click on any website and go to the view page source. You are going to see many designing tags of HTML as well as JavaScript also. This page doesn't contain JavaScript. I'm going to show you a page which also contains JavaScript. The code has been written over here. HTML codes and the JavaScript code. Everything which you find it on the page, you're going to find it over here also. Just see. We do focus on candidate learning skill also, so that they are better jobs and where the world. Our motive is just to provide jobs, but to polish the career of the job seeker also. This line is written under a P tab. Okay. A P tab, this line is written under a P tab. Now in here, where you can find this thing, just a minute, I'm going to show you something. Who we are. Here you can see it over here, that it is written who we are over here, and that particular line is written over here. So the process, okay, Rishabh, if you are using Inspect, that can also be done, but Inspect is, I can say, the advanced version to find out the way of modifying a website from the user end. Okay, I will be coming to Inspect also. Just don't be in a hurry. I will be telling you everything slowly and slowly. So first of all, we will be knowing about view page source. What are you going to see in your view page source? The entire HTML codes, what is written in HTML code, the entire design script also, and the JavaScript also. Now, let me just take you to some other page, which do contain some entries also, means some text box also, some buttons also. Okay. I just took you to a page which says resume upload page. Now in this page you can see the entire listing of data is also here. So these are the things which are connected to database, and inside that database the entire data has been inserted, and that what you can see it over here. We have text box over here, we have career option over here. Now, if I just right click on the page and go to view page source, what you're going to see, you're going to see the HTML tags also over here. HTML tags, the CSS, the bootstrap, some more tags, and you're going to see the script tag over here. You can see it says script type JavaScript, and you're going to see a JavaScript also here. Here also, and at the bottom, I guess, if I go to the bottom, you're going to see some JavaScript file also over here. How it is written, why it is written, that we'll discuss in our future sessions. But you're going to find some coding part also over here. Okay. Now, what does this coding part do? Now, just let me just find it out. If I don't fill any of the boxes, just remember, if I don't fill any of the boxes, if I just escape all the boxes, means if I don't enter any detail of mine, and then at the end, if I press final submit button, it's a final submit button over here, it shows me a message. Please enter the name. What? Okay, if I go to okay, enter the name is what? It is showing me it is asking me to first insert your name. The alert box is asking me to insert my name. Why this alert box is getting appeared? Because the full name, text box is empty. Now, if I put something and then I will leave everything as it is, and if I go to the last page and then if I press final submit, it shows me please select your job position. Okay, now the page is itself asking me or knows which text box is empty, and I should not leave any text box empty, so that this page itself by himself telling me that, sir, you have to insert some data, this data, because that particular text box is empty. So this alert box, how it is coming, this whatever I am saying is it clear to you all? Anybody can just message me so that I can proceed further. Hello. Hello. Now is my voice audible? Anybody can hear? Everybody can hear me? Shall I proceed further? Okay. Okay. Thank you, Neeraj. Thank you. Thank you. So what I was saying is that if I leave any text box empty, what will happen? And then if I just press the submit button, the final submit button, a small pop-up, you can say it an alert box, appears itself as it is telling me that I have left certain text box or certain things empty, and after filling I can press the final button. So these alert box, where it is coming, these alert boxes are coming from a small programmation program written in JavaScript of any website. If it is written on the page directly from your computer by just right clicking on the page and going to web page source, the entire page gets open and you're going to see the HTML part of it, how it has been designed, the JavaScript part also, how it has been written, the calling of Bootstrap, the calling of CSS also, what are the CSS file is been used in this particular page to design and to validate this page. Everything which you can see it on your system is called the client-side code. Here, the client-side code is the HTML code and the JavaScript code, which can be seen easily by anybody, any user, any end user of any website, of any web application. If a person can see the entire designing part and the JavaScript part on his computer, means this is called the client-side code. Means any client-side code, every page consists of this particular page, entire JavaScript programming and the JavaScript language and the HTML language. If anybody can see it, that means it's a client-side code. Everybody can see. Hope I'm clear with the client-side code, client-side programming, client-side. The JavaScript and the HTML are called the client-side code because anybody can see the client-side code of any website. Now I will proceeding to the server side. What happens if I fill all the fields and then if I press the submit button? Okay, what will happen? It will the data which I have inserted in every text box, because there are many text box like male, nationality, father name, working experience, company name, designations, training. These are fields. Okay, text box, education information, all the text box, and the first information, the job detail, the contact number, email, and everything. If I fill in the entire detail and then if I press the submit button, what's going to happen? No JavaScript alert box is going to show us, and we're going to insert this particular amount to the database, where the database connectivity is been done. That is called the server side code, and the server side code cannot be seen by any user, by any end user on their system, that what kind of server side code, how the server side code is been written in order to transact the data from the screen, from the user end to the web server. In our case, in server side code, we will be using VB.NET also, VB.NET, and we can use C# also, we can use JHash also, we can use Fhash also. So apart from all these languages, with ASP.NET, I found out that VB.NET is the easiest language to communicate with the server, to use as a server side code. That's why I have used it, and I believe it's a very easy language. So the server side coding, you will be all able to find it out very easy. Now I'm going to show you just consider this first box as our project. It's a project. Okay, you can call it project. Web application or online software. It's up to you that whatever you call this box. Okay, this is the first box. The first box is the project, web application or online software. And the second box, what we're going to use is will be our backend or database. Okay, so we are going to use ASP.NET with VB.NET. Remember, VB.NET is our server side code. For every client side code, the similar HTML and the JavaScript has been used. And as backend, we are going to use, doesn't ask us that on which database you have designed. Whatever database we have used, 5, 12, 14, 16, 17, 18, 19, we have to generate the script. And that script will be uploaded to the web server database. Okay, and there is no place in the script which denotes that from which version of the database it has been generated. So according to my configuration, I am using ASP.NET 2012, the latest one. As I am using 2008 also. There's not much different between it. And for the database, I'm using 2005, 2012 also. I'm using 2012 in my server, and in local machine, I'm using 2005 according to my configuration of the system. So the first box is our project, the software, and the second box is our database. Now what happened? Remember, a web application doesn't contain only one page. It has many pages. Okay, suppose you are creating a web application for school. So for a school, you will be needing a page for admission details, where every detail of the students is being inserted. The fee structure page, where the fee structure for every class should be inserted. Student progress report, where every student's subject marks according to the terms is been inserted. Let's take only 3 till now, for now. Okay, so inside of software we have small pages also. Okay, some might have 3, some might have many pages, means 2, 4. Some big projects have more than 100 pages also. Some many pages have more than thousands also. According to the client requirement, we design the application, and we decide how many pages should be there in a project. Okay, and in the database, just remember, as I told you, 3 pages. As I have taken only 3 pages: the admission detail, the fee structure details, and the progress report of the progress detail of every student. 3 pages. Now, according to the database, means first of in a big project, just remember one thing. First, the website is not been discussed, the database is been discussed, and the entire table and database is being made ready before making any application. Means, in order to make a complete software web application for any organization, we first have to create the database. We first have to decide what are fields should be there in the database, what are tables should be there in the database. That we have to decide first, and according to that we have to design the screens and create the project. Okay, so if somebody asks you, in a web application, in a development, in a software development, which is created first, the database or the front end, means the project? So remember, you have to say first the database has been created. First the database has been created, and according to the database, the tables and the views and the fields, the project, the front end, the software is created. Okay, so inside a database there are many tables also. First table contains the admission detail of any student, the entire detail, the father name, mother name, age, gender, date of birth, and several other entries. The second table contains the fee structure of the school. Means engineering branch will have 1,50,000 rupees per semester, and these kinds of electronic branch will have 3 lakhs per semester, and things like this data is being inserted in this particular table. Now the third table which we will design will be the progress report, the data, the information which a student gets after exams. Means, suppose Rishabh, in first session, first year, first semester in English, he got 50 marks. In first year, first session, first semester in Hindi, he got 20 marks. That kind of data. So in a database, there are many tables. We have designed 3 tables, and in the same way, it's all depend upon the requirement of the client. It's all depend upon the requirement of the project, how many tables will be made inside a database. And according to this table, the screens have been created, the entire project is been created. So what we have designed over here, we have designed a box called a database in the right hand side, and we have created certain tables in it. And let me just write T also, so that you can, T means tables. And here we have screens. You can call it a screen also, you can call it a page also, you can call it screens or page. So in these 2 things, means the tables and the screens, remember, this entire project, if the entire project is been hosted inside the server, the database will also be there, the project is also be there. You cannot open the database, you can access the screens, you can access the application, and if you insert the data from your application, then only it will going to insert in your particular table. So just imagine if I connect this particular screen to this table, this particular screen to this table, this particular screen to this table. Okay, what I have done, I have connected one screen with one table. Means if you insert particular record in that particular screen, it will go and insert into a particular table by which it has been connected. But before that, before connecting the screens in the table, there might be chance in an advanced project that your screens might be connected with more than one table. Suppose this screen is connected with this table also. This screen is connected with this table also. Means one screen can be connected with two tables also, and two tables can be connected with one screen. But that is something higher, an advanced version of software development. But for just starting up, for the beginners, just remember, we connect one screen with one table and insert and flow the data from our front end, because this is the front end, this is the project which the user will be seeing and inserting the data. You won't be able to see the database. But before that, what we will do, we are going to, we have to connect our front end with back end, okay, through code. Until and unless you connect your project with your database, the internal connection of pages and tables won't take place. Suppose I'll give you an example. Earlier, before the Android phones and mobile phones, we have a landline phones in our house. Many have now also. So from exchange, a very thick wire comes to our colony or to our society, and inside that thick wire, we have very tiny, small and thin wires, and that thin wires goes to every house of the society or the colony. In the same way, the thick wire from exchange to our, the one thick wire from exchange to our colony or to our society is the connection. The dark line which I have drawn on top and at the bottom of the screen, which is connecting the entire project with the database. Okay, and the small linings, after making connection with the project, with the software and the database, we have drawn a small thin lines which is being connected with the screens, the pages with the tables. Let me just write it down over here. Connection is done between software and database. First, connection is done between the software and the database. What is software? Our project. The front end. What is database? SQL Server, back end, in which the data is being stored and which is kept hidden, because it's a security, for the security reasons, the database is been hidden inside our server and cannot be accessed by any end user. End user can access the screens, and from that particular screen they can insert the data. And then what we do, after connection is done between software and database, and after that, you can say small connection connects screens and table after connection of database and software. Means the big connection is been done before. The big connection has been done between the project, the software and the database, and the small connections are being done between the screens and tables after connection of database and software. So this is the diagram of the entire project. This is the, you can say, a parent diagram which shows you what is a project and what is a database, and how database is being connected with the front end, and how each table is being connected with the screens. So this is the, you can say, you can say it master print of any project, any software, any web application, how the software has been made. So does anybody has any query in this particular thing which I have just explained you over here? Anybody? Is my voice audible to you all? Whatever I have explained, yeah. Santosh, thank you, Santosh. So I will proceed further. Now what we have to do, we have to see the introduction to Visual Studio 2012, and inside Visual Studio 2012 we will be knowing some controls. Okay, how drag and drop take place, and how does it run, and how does it look like. It's a very simple thing. Once you download the Visual Studios, once you install the Visual Studios, I will be opening, just look, I'm using 2008 also and 2012 also. Both the things are similar, just the version is different, and the color and the design, the UI design is something different. That's it. The processing and the working system is the same in every version. So when you open Visual Studio, I'm using Ultimate 2012. The first thing you have to do, you have to create a project. How you are going to create a project? By going to the file button over here, selecting new, and we have project also and website also. You don't have to select project because this project denotes the offline applications. We are making over here an online application, so we will go to the website selection. Okay, now when you select website, a small window will open and it will ask you that on which language, and left hand side you're going to see the language selection, the template. Under the template we have two languages, Visual Basics and Visual C#. Most of them use C# also, most of them use J# also, J# also, F# also. There are many languages inside Visual Studios for your comfort to design your application according to your convenient, whatever language you prefer or whatever language you find it easy. The syntax, the syntax or the way of writing program. The syntax is called the way of writing program, the starting and the ending thing. With the C#, it matches with the C language. But I don't use C#, I use Visual Basic. It's a very easy language. It's a very easy server-side language. I have to select Visual Basic, and the entire list is going to open. We have the one thing, ASP.NET empty website is been selected by default. At the bottom, you're going to find out that where your website is been saved. Your website name is website 2. You can change the name from here. It's going to save on desktop. You can change the location also to save your project by clicking the browse button, and then you have to click OK. Now it will create a project, an empty project in the name of website 2 on our desktop. It's going to create a folder over there. Okay, so this is the thing. This is the entire page got open. We have tools over here. We will just click on the tools. The tools is empty. Why it is empty? Because we don't have any page over here. We don't have any page to design over here. So what we will do, we will add a page. You can add multiple pages. You can add many screens in your project. It's completely depend upon the requirement of the client, many pages has to be made. On website menu, you will find add new item. You will select add new item, and you will go to the web form and just click add button. So what will happen? A new web form will be added to your project. Okay, you can see the some HTML code, some HTML part is being written by itself. We haven't wrote any HTML part, but the few HTML part is been written by default. So this is the thing which is very interesting in Visual Studios, that you don't have to write HTMLs. Though in advanced form, you might need something to write HTML according to your need, but for the beginners, I will show you how you can just escape the time to write HTML codes. Okay, so you can see a div tab over here, the div opening over here, and the div closing over here. You can see every form, you can see every tag. The form tag is over here, the opening form tag and the closing form tag, and the div tag is between the form tag. So what is the difference? How are you going to find out that which tag is the opening tag and which tag is the closing tag? Remember, you can see the div tag over here, and you can see the div closing tag over here. You're going to see this particular hash sign, the backslash sign. So whenever some tags are getting closed, they're going to close with the backslash sign. So if the tag having a backslash sign, that means this is the closing tag of our opening tag, which will be somewhere in the screen. Now in between, I will click, and what I will do, I am going to add a text box over here. So if I scroll down the toolbox, I'm going to find a text box over here. So I'm going to click the text box, and I'm going to drag it in between of the div. Okay, now what you will see, you're going to see a HTML tag. ASP is written ASP txt text box ID text box 1 runnet server. This runnet server denotes that this particular text box can be used in server side coding. If runnet server is not written, that means this particular control, this particular control or this particular text box is not meant for writing in, not meant for use in server side programming. But if the control is written runnet server, that means this control can be used in server side coding. So I just drag and drop the text box, and the entire code is written by itself. Okay, I will press enter, and I will add a button also. Here is the button. I will just drag with the mouse, and you can see button ID button 1 runnet server text button 1 is written over here. Means these are the two. The drag and drop system is the thing by which we can avoid or cut the time into very short by writing the HTML codes. If you write HTML codes in Notepad, you're going to write the entire code with the head tag. From the head tag, just remember, the head tag is over here, and it is the head tag is over here, and the head tag is closing over here. The body tag is over here, the body tag is closing over here. The form tag is over here, the form tag is closing over here. The div tag is over here, the div tag is closing over here. The HTML tag is on the top, and the HTML tag is at the bottom. We will save the page, and we will run the page. How are you going to run the page? You can see it over here. The default name of the page is default.exp. We're going to right click on the default page, and when a window is open, you're going to select view in browser, and the default browser is selected Google Chrome. If we click this option, the page which we have made and the control which we have used in this particular page, how it's going to appear on the server, or when you run the page, you're going to see it over here. Just see. Are you getting the visual? We have a text box over here in which we write. We have a button also over here. It doesn't work because we haven't written any any sort of coding behind the button. Okay. Anything. So this is the thing, this text box, this button, you can see it over here. The same control is being used over here in this website also. This is the same text box used over there. This is the same submit button is used over here. What we have used in our, I just showed you the button. The difference between them is the look, the design, and this can be done with the designing part or from the CSS part. But this is the same text box and this is the same button over here, the final submit button, the same thing which you are seeing over here in this page. This is the text box without any design, without any CSS. That's why it's look by its journal view, and the same button over here. Okay. So these are the two controls, the text box, the buttons. There are many, you can see it over here. There are many tools which can be used in the project upon the requirement of the client, upon the requirement of the designer, the developer, what are controls they use, how they use. Every control have its own properties. Every control have its own function. We are going to discuss slowly and slowly in our future sessions also. So I believe anybody has any questions regarding the HTML tags, JavaScript, where it's been used, or the diagram which I have just shown you. Anybody which having any query, any problem? Because 2 or 3 days we will go theoretically, and after that slowly and slowly we're going to do some practicals also, and we're going to continue with the practicals itself. So before doing the practicals, your concept of what you are doing and why you are doing should be clear, and where you are doing. So anybody has any question? I will go to the back to the question of Rishabh. Rishabh, you just asked using inspect, why we use inspect. Okay, so I would like to put a light on this particular topic. Remember, if I go to this particular page, what we have made, when we right click on the page and we go to view page source, what we're going to see, we are going to see the entire HTML page and entire HTML part. You can see it over here, the button which we have drawn, the text box what we have taken, and the some additional HTML codes also which page generate to run in a browser. So this part is from view page source. Okay, I will close this. In the same part, if I just right click on the page and we go to inspect, this inspect is a slightly advanced form of the finding out something in this page, the advanced version of finding something. You won't be finding anything because it doesn't contain any design or things like that. If I just inspect my website, this website, if I go to right click and instead of going to view page source, if I just go to the inspect, and in inspect we are going to see the same HTML, the CSS, the JavaScript functions over here. But the difference between view page source and inspect is this, that in inspect, if we want to change anything, we can find the source and the target very easily. Suppose if I want to change the color of the font, and if I want to know if I want to know that where this code has been written of CSS and design, so that I can go directly to that particular page and change the code to so that I can go to that particular CSS file and change the font color, and the font can be changed. In that purpose, we use inspect. We use inspect to find the source and the target of designing part to change anything in a very less time. Okay, I will be telling you in detail the use of inspect. when we will be using some project, when we will be working on some project, then you're going to find it out how inspect work. Okay, suppose I am the outsider, I'm the new employee of a company, and if I've been given the old website to change some design, I have to know where the designing part, the designing coding in CSS has been written. So the fastest way to find out the designing, the color part of a particular page in CSS file, in a designing file, we use inspect. Okay. So I believe, Rishabh, your query is clear. Anybody? I'm not getting any response. Neeraj, Rishabh, Santosh, and anybody? Is my voice clear? Is my explaining technique is clear, so that you all have understood everything? Okay, Santosh, thank you. Okay. Okay, Lupamudra Das, is everything clear? Do one thing tomorrow. Whatever I have explained yesterday and today also, just go through it. Our video is going to be uploaded in YouTube also, so that you can find it from there. I'm leaving my number over here, the WhatsApp number, and my mail ID also over here. Okay. I will do one thing. I will just write my, where shall I write? I believe you all can see the contact ID of mine. This is my WhatsApp number. If you have any doubt, just get in touch with me on WhatsApp. And if you have any doubt, you can just contact me in my email ID also regarding the sessions. Not only yesterday and today's session, but for the future sessions also. Just note it down, and we will be discussing more about tomorrow. And we will be discussing about control list, building small applications, how many controls, what are controls, and how it's been used, web page layout, designing and running on web browser. We did a small designing and running on web browser today itself with a text box and a button. We're going to see some more controls. With some more controls, we're going to see the runtime view of pages, tags in detail. We're going to learn tags in details and controls in details. What are controls to be used? What will I do? I will show you some web portals, show you some web applications, the controls which are being used in that, why are they being used over there, that I'm going to tell you. And that particular control, when we do our project slowly, and we're going to use that particular controls, so that everything will be clear in your mind. So I believe you all have noted down the my WhatsApp number and my email ID also for any query. So today's session, I think, is complete, and I will be closing the meeting. So thank you all, guys. Tomorrow be on time around 8 to 8:05. We will be starting between 8 to 8:05 or on 8:05 p.m. And thank you for being with me.